Backed by the Bros on HGTV, Drew and Jonathan Scott assist families in danger of losing it all. Drew and Jonathan Scott typically take a highly active role in their ventures. Because of this, Backed by the Bros was a special experience. In the new HGTV series, the moguls take on the role of mentors, offering advice to residential developers, short-term rental operators, and business people who had previously made poor decisions. The Scotts had to decide between two possible real estate investments in each of the 10 episodes. To determine who to support with all of their resources, including a warehouse full of building supplies, a network of designers, and trade contacts, they will meet with owners and evaluate the properties. The mere fact that Drew and Jonathan share their knowledge does not guarantee that they will heed it. They are not accustomed to working on their other series, Property Brothers and Celebrity IOU, in such an uncertain setting. Here, Drew and Jonathan talk candidly about their efforts to support these investors who have put themselves in some precarious positions. Why did you decide to make this show? Jonathan Scott. We have conversations with a lot of individuals, whether they are friends or clients. I wish I could invest in real estate or convert my garage to make a new revenue stream, they have stated. Everyone is enamored with the concept but is unsure of how to get started. Many people are jumping in with little idea what they are doing and risking losing everything because of this show. They overspent and made some blunders. After purchasing a property, one of our families planned to demolish the house and construct a modest apartment complex. They were unaware that zoning for that type of building is never permitted. They spent more than $150,000 and squandered all of their retirement and college savings for their 4 children. They're stranded. We enter with our group. We assist them in escaping the hole they have created for themselves by contributing our resources and experiences. Each tale is unique. That is the exciting aspect about this. Drew Scott. We have been doing this for more than 25 years, and we have made many blunders throughout the years. We were overspending on projects in the beginning when we were unaware of it. We believed we could accomplish one thing with the property, but it turned out that we couldn't. One of our homeowners is in a similar predicament as ours. They didn't realize they couldn't do what they wanted, therefore they didn't complete their research. They suddenly paid for a project that didn't turn out to be as successful as they had hoped. We regret not having a mentor in our early years. Since some of them are in danger of losing everything, we can now act as mentors to assist others and help them escape the traps they are currently in. How did you cope with the realization that you didn't have total control? That instead of doing what you do with your other shows, you have to stand back and observe from a distance. Drew. That's a big step in the process, but I kind of forget about it. We are highly hands-on, as you are aware from our shows. There were moments along this process when I had to tell myself, okay, just because they are not doing what we're suggesting doesn't mean this isn't still an investor to help. After all, this is their project, and they are free to do as they like. It's really difficult. It's difficult when I witness someone making a mistake that I know they will later regret and refusing to heed our counsel. In one episode, a 21-year-old saved money, earned money, and purchased his first investment property. Since John was him in our early investing days, we continued to make fun of him. His name is John. He was highly self-centered and somewhat in line with our early paths. He refused to heed our counsel. They are spending tens of thousands of dollars on items that will not increase their profits in some of these deals. It's difficult. Jonathan. The dollar and the numbers are everything in this game. Spending too much will result in a poor investment and no recovery. If you won't end up making any money, why would you go through this entire process? It's important to heed our counsel. I'm happy that he eventually learned and made a wise investment. A man formerly owned a modest apartment complex. It was his only source of income, and it was destroyed by fire. It was going to be a poor investment the way the insurance company rebuilt it. We needed to enter with a new strategy. We are investing in these people for more reasons than just the potential of the land. We are investing in individuals who we genuinely believe will gain from our contributions and develop their future-ready talents. John learned some of these lessons the hard way, but he is now headed for great success. Everyone would be doing it if it were simple. How difficult was it for you to choose the person you wanted to continue dating? Drew: every project has its own set of advantages and disadvantages, so it was difficult. There was some nice back and forth because Jonathan and I couldn't agree on who we should support. It's the kind of investment and the individual. Ultimately, our purpose is not to assist someone with their own home. Our goal is to encourage individuals to invest. There are numerous opportunities. The government is providing other incentives as well. In order to alleviate the housing issue, I believe that New York is even paying people to convert their garages. For other kinds of builds, we offer tax benefits. We can help folks realize that they can make enough money to cover the high cost of living these days. Although it is difficult, we are confident that anybody we assist will be greatly positioned for success. However, we do not have limitless resources. We are constrained because we are using designers and contractors from other projects. We might be able to use them for a 6-week break. We might have a limited amount of materials in our warehouse. Therefore, we must choose wisely. Who finally made it easier for you to view the bright side of your career? Jonathan: in reality, we had no one. The struggle was that I eventually enrolled in a construction and design school. I experienced epiphanies on the construction aspect at that point. Drew and I were conducting extensive study before making any real estate investments. We had inquiries. Even those infomercials about making millions of dollars with no down payment were purchased by us. The majority of that was bullshit, but we did find some things that worked and made purchases possible. At the age of 18, we used $250 out of pocket to purchase our first investment property. There you could take out a mortgage without being eligible, but that is no longer an option. However, it demonstrates that there are other creative methods to enter the real estate market. You don't have to have a narrow perspective where you can just save money, put down 25% or 50%. There are alternative strategies for success. Drew: you have to be handy because we grew up on a ranch, whether it was constructing a family home or a barn alongside our father. Although he wasn't a certified contractor, our dad was incredibly handy. He was not familiar with the nuances of the National Building Code. I wish we had mentors like the ones we have. Now at least, we can contribute in this way. One can learn a great deal about what to do if they want to enter into real estate, even from watching the show. Jonathan: since this concert is unlike anything we have ever done, I am quite excited. You truly get to witness our tough love. We're calling it as we see it, and it almost feels like we're the Gordon Ramsays of the home. How did you feel as you witnessed the people you assisted cross the finish line? Jonathan: real estate is pricey these days because so many people are struggling. Most people can't even afford to buy a home, especially in a big metropolis like Los Angeles. Here, they may not only alleviate the housing issue, but also make more money for themselves. Drew and I have advised individuals to put their egos aside. If you truly want to succeed and accumulate more wealth for your retirement, one option is to rent out your area, which will significantly increase your revenue. These people will change. A few of these investors are earning an additional $60,000 annually. Hundreds of thousands of dollars are being earned by some. Drew: that's thrilling. It is quite significant to see the change in their confidence. You can see the fear in the eyes of many of them. Drowning in debt. Let's see the flip now, where they discuss comprehending the process and what they will do next. They are going forward in a totally different manner and are in a better position than they were previously, which is why I adore that. In Backed by the Bros, Drew and Jonathan Scott share the most frustrating aspect of being mentors, exclusive, in their most recent HGTV series, which premieres on June 5. Viewers will witness a more resilient side of the brothers. Fans have never witnessed anything like the most recent home show featuring Drew and Jonathan Scott. In the June 5 premiere of HGTV's Backed by the Bros, The 46-year-old twin brothers combine their resources and real estate knowledge to assist aspiring business owners in handling some difficult challenges. The brothers must determine whether or not to support these newcomers, some of whom are high stakes and desperate to turn a profit through house flipping and other building endeavors. Although Drew and Jonathan are accustomed to making all of the decisions on their previous shows, they also star in Don't Hate Your House, Brother vs. Brother, and Celebrity IOU. They must relinquish all authority in Backed by the Bros and allow their mentees to make all of the ultimate choices. In the new series, Drew and Jonathan will show fans a tougher side of themselves. And POPL spoke with them about the most frustrating aspect of being mentors. This is what you'll see in the show, which is really annoying, Jonathan tells POPL. With all of our experience, if we were to visit your home or investment property and offer resources like furniture and designers, would you not heed our advice? Well, in the show, some of these inexperienced people do the exact opposite of what we're suggesting, he adds. After that, it reappears and strikes them in the face. We're attempting to help these individuals learn independently and from their own errors. Therefore, it's really annoying that we're not taking over these projects. It's probably one of the most frustrating things for me because I'm a bit of a control freak, Drew adds, echoing the notion. Therefore, it's difficult for me to let go. He quips that Jonathan is the one who frequently couldn't contain his annoyance, even if he acknowledges that it might be challenging for him to watch these investors take the lead at times. He adds, I will have to say Jonathan was probably a bit more blunt than I was with some of the investors. There is a vein in Jonathan's forehead, and when you feel it throbbing, he becomes irritated and then lets it all out. The father of almost two, who has a 2-year-old son named Parker and is expecting a second child with wife Linda Phan, notes that tough love is essential in a program like Backed by the Bros. I think it's funny because it's real life, and we're really supportive on Property Brothers, he explains. It's like parenting these investors and homeowners sometimes. They just need the band-aid to be taken off, and they need a reality check. The brothers acknowledge that they weren't always experts despite having over 25 years of expertise. Sharing their knowledge with these entrepreneurs, who they identify with in some way, is one of the most empowering aspects of this show for them both. At the start of the show, Drew characterizes a newcomer that viewers will meet as overconfident and almost faking it until you make it. That's precisely how I was when I was younger, so I'm delighted he finally changed his mind and understood that he needed to be more receptive to people with more life experience. And it was like seeing into a mirror, he remembers. Seeing that kind of change in people is really empowering. We are coming in and we are rescuing people, Jonathan adds. And it's very satisfying to see somebody who is, for want of a better term, totally effed. This is what he believes makes this show so essential. That was the big thing for us, Drew says in closing, to determine how we might help others by sharing what we have learned over the past 25 years, enabling them to succeed and provide for their families. Ahead of his own marriage to Zooey Deschanel, Jonathan Scott makes fun of his brother Drew's lavish wedding. Jonathan remarked, Drew went insanely big, referring to his siblings' 2018 wedding in Italy, when he and his wife, Linda Phan, entertained over 300 people. Despite having different opinions on weddings, Jonathan Scott and Drew Scott, who are identical twin brothers and co-stars of Property Brothers, have a lot in common. On Tuesday, June 4, Jonathan humored his sibling about his lavish wedding to wife Linda Phan during a joint appearance on The Kelly Clarkson Show. Jonathan remarked, Drew went insanely big, to the point where the resort couldn't handle the people, referring to his brother's 2018 wedding, which, with over 300 guests, was held at La Piazza del Borgo in Puglia, Italy. Host Kelly Clarkson gripped her palm to her chest and said, I had a panic attack after hearing the number of people. Drew interrupted himself to justify himself. We got married in Puglia in Italy, and we were told by all the experts and a wedding planner that like 1/10 of the people you invite will come that far for the wedding. So we invited 350 people, and 310 showed up. So, he remarked, causing everyone in the room to gasp. In response to the joke that Clarkson, 42, said, "You are very liked and loved, sir," Drew remarked, "Apparently I paid them well, yeah." Get the best of people's content, including captivating human interest stories and celebrity news, by subscribing to their free daily newsletter. Drew acknowledged that on the big day, the enormous guest list was a little stressful for him and Phan, who are presently expecting their second child together. "We decided that it would have been preferable to have more us moments. I don't mind things being busy and a lot happening, but my wife is," he said to Clarkson. "Although it was large, it was incredibly memorable and we adored it." Jonathan continued to make fun of his brother, pointing out that not only was Drew's wedding extravagant, but he also had a camera crew accompanying him on his special day. Jonathan wasn't ready to let his brother off the hook just yet. "As a camera team entered while I was changing, I eventually yelled, 'Stop following me everywhere,'" Jonathan recounted, laughingly adding, "Real, authentic." Jonathan told Clarkson that he and his actress fiancée, Zooey Deschanel, intend to take a completely different approach and keep their wedding nice and intimate. "We just want to have a kick-ass party with people we love," he said. Jonathan and Deschanel, 44, who announced their engagement in August 2023, are actually organizing a number of modest events for their wedding, as he previously told POPLE last month. He remarked at the time, "We know that being surrounded by our loved ones is the most important thing for us. Additionally, we don't intend to have a wild, lavish wedding. It is going to be quite personal." He revealed that the couple will throw a second celebration following the first, smaller ceremony. In reference to their home base of Los Angeles, the HGTV star stated, "We will probably throw another party just for friends here locally." There is one specific issue that separates Jonathan and the new girl star, even though they agree on the most of the aspects of their wedding idea. Jonathan revealed to Entertainment Tonight back in March that, in observance of his Scottish ancestry, he intends to wear a kilt for his wedding. "Deschanel is cool with the outfit choice," he said, "but she's a little worried about what's below." As he pondered, "I have to decide, am I gonna go traditional or am I gonna wear something under it?" "I don't know," Deschanel joked. "I hope you wear something under it." Jonathan Scott teases his marriage to Zooey Deschanel and mocks Drew Scott's extravagant wedding. Jonathan Scott is getting married shortly, but he won't be following in his brother Drew Scott's footsteps. During a Tuesday visit on The Kelly Clarkson Show, the Property Brothers star, who is engaged to actress-singer Zooey Deschanel, talked candidly about the couple's impending nuptials. Scott hinted that the wedding would be nice and intimate, even though he and Deschanel have not finalized the specifics yet. "We just want to have a kick. But, party with people we love," he said to host Kelly Clarkson. The modest wedding style of Scott and Deschanel contrasts with that of Scott's brother Drew, who married Linda Phan in a spectacular Italian ceremony in May 2018. Drew went insanely big, to the point where the resort couldn't handle the people, said Scott. Drew went on to say that neither he nor Phan had anticipated their wedding to turn into such a lavish event. "Do you need a rest? Try your hand at the USA Today Daily Crossword," Drew clarified. "We got married in Puglia, Italy, and all the experts and a wedding planner told us that, like a tenth of the people you invite will come that far for the wedding. Out of the 350 individuals we invited, 310 actually attended." Scott was upset about more than just the huge number of guests at the wedding. He also teasingly yelled at the documentary team that was hired to record the event. Before joking, "Real, authentic," Scott recounted. "I was getting changed when a camera crew entered, and at last I was like, 'Stop following me everywhere.'" In Scotland, Jonathan Scott and Zooey Deschanel became engaged. According to a Scott spokeswoman who spoke to USA Today at the time, Scott and Deschanel became engaged in August 2023 after 4 years of dating. According to People magazine, Scott proposed while on a family vacation in Scotland, and Deschanel's kids, Elsie and Charlie, whom she shares with her ex-husband Jacob Pekenick, participated in the engagement. The pair announced the news on Instagram with a selfie shortly after Scott proposed. The new girl actress was seen in the picture holding up her left hand close to her face, a huge ring on her finger. According to the caption, "Forever starts now." Property Brothers star Jonathan Scott and Zooey Deschanel are engaged. View the ring. While filming a sibling-themed episode of Carpool Karaoke, the series, which included Scott, his brother Drew Deschanel, and her sister Emily Deschanel, the Adore TV stars first got to know one another in August 2019. Scott told USA Today in 2020 that his budding romance with the She and Him singer was accelerated by the COVID-19 epidemic. "I think we've essentially squeezed the normal equivalent of 3 years into 1 year because of isolation," he stated. "So it's been pretty great." In their new HGTV series, Backed by the Bros, Drew and Jonathan Scott provide more than just tough love. Interview HGTV celebrities Jonathan Scott and Drew Scott's new high-stakes series, Backed by the Bros, are set to drastically alter the cozy and comfortable world of real estate and home remodeling. In order to assist struggling investors succeed, the Emmy-nominated celebrities are hanging up their tool belts for the new endeavor and risking their reputations. Although the twins have historically led the way in home remodeling, in the 10-episode series, Jonathan and Drew are more interested in coaching real estate investors than overseeing renovations themselves. The modest Canadian couple has demonstrated that they are more than simply restoration experts by recognizing a solid investment when they see one. The two said in an exclusive with Collider that it's time to use their wealth of expertise to provide investors with tough love and useful guidance so they don't make the same mistakes they did in their early careers. Many of these errors taught us valuable lessons. "When we sold a house," the homeowner said, "I built this whole place by hand. That should have been a warning sign," Drew says Collider. "I remember one house that we had, and it was the first massive full renovation that we took on, and at the time we didn't realize that." However, the two will be discussing more than just warning signs with possible investors about their series, which will debut on HGTV at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on June 5 and stream on Max on the same day. Jonathan acknowledges that while if every person's circumstances are unique, they have all made the same mistakes and wish to sincerely assist others in avoiding similar financial problems, even if some of them cause hardship for the twins. "I don't want to expend all of this effort and experience on someone who will just take it all and go off and do their own thing. We are looking for learners." The Scotts share some personal news with their respective partners, including an update on 2 of the most significant events the twins have planned: the birth of Drew's second child with wife Linda Phan, and Jonathan's impending marriage to actress and singer-songwriter Zooey Deschanel. They also stress the significance of comprehending the risks and expenses involved in real estate investments, while contrasting emotional decisions typically made by homeowners with a more calculated approach. With Linda Phan, Drew Scott provides an update on baby No. 2 idea. "I want to start with you, Drew, and ask how you two are doing before we discuss Backed by the Bros, which I'm really happy about. I'm excited since I know that baby number 2 will arrive next month. Even though being a parent can be unexpected, what lessons have you learned from your first-time fatherhood experience that you will now use to raise your second child with Linda?" Drew is TOT. "The main thing for me, I believe, was our parent friends. Many of them offered advice and other things, but I also thought that I could plan things and that you can read all you want, but it won't really matter as much as you think it will. Parker will do as he pleases because life unfolds differently. I recently came to the realization that he will develop and thrive on his own if you simply provide him with a loving environment in that secure setting. For me, that was the most important thing." Jonathan SCOT. "I've come to the realization that your first child is always extremely valuable, and you want to make sure you're helicoptering, that by the time you have your second child, you know they'll be all right." Drew. "That's right. Lass. They will essentially be away for 2 years. and I find it amusing that even though it was just 2 years ago, I've already forgotten. When it came to changing diapers, late-night feeding, and other such tasks, I had a lot of tiny tricks of the trade. I'm already losing track of my small tricks and methods. For the first time, you go through the entire process. Jonathan Scott and Zooey Deschanel discuss their wedding plans. It will be quite thrilling. I'm so pleased for you too. I'm also really glad for you, Jonathan, as your wedding is coming up. According to what I've heard, you and Zooey are going at your own speed and keeping things small, so I assume it won't be a destination wedding with a lot of guests. Will you be adding any special or customized elements to the wedding that represent your relationship and personality? Jonathan, the most important thing to us is that we want to throw a fantastic party for the people we love. It won't be a big wedding because we plan to keep it extremely small. The music, the meal, and the subsequent celebration are all significant. Our fascination with escape rooms has led us to consider the possibility of holding an escape room wedding in which all guests are locked inside and can only leave by solving puzzles. We're going to use that for that kind of thing. How Backed by the Bras was influenced by Drew and Jonathan's past. I adore that. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'd love to talk about Backed by the Bros now, and I'm really pleased for you both. In the whole Property Brothers franchise, it's another story. It's really thrilling. Why did you both decide to start the series and help struggling real estate investors with your knowledge? Jonathan. There are a lot of people we know that wish to work in the real estate industry. They wish to make real estate investments. When someone says, "I just wish I could make an extra income on the side," they jump right in without understanding the amount of labor required or the dangers involved if they don't know what they're doing. As a result, we produced a show that is extremely different from our previous work. You'll notice that it has a different tone. When it's necessary, we are tough. We continue to offer assistance. Even though we offer all of our resources and experience, some of these investors disregard our advice, and things end badly for them. Drew. I believe what Jonathan and I discovered is that many people would claim that dealing with investors is extremely different than dealing with homeowners, who are their primary residents, since many homeowners make emotional decisions. The issue is that the majority of our clients are regular homeowners attempting to venture into a new investing category. They are actually bringing that same feeling into decisions that should be made without emotion because they want to do more and earn more money with real estate. As a result, we are witnessing a great degree of stress there, which goes beyond what we would normally experience when interacting with investors. One aspect of the show that I really enjoyed was how you both expressed your desire to use your knowledge to guide investors toward the best decision possible. Being such assistants is really humble of you guys, in my opinion, as many people enter this field without sharing the same level of resources and expertise. Could you briefly describe your personal real estate and renovation blenders that shaped your decision to mentor individuals in need? Drew. Since the middle of the 1990s, Jonathan and I have been doing this. We've been in this business for a very long time, and I wish we had a mentor who could have helped these investors in the past. We didn't. Many of these errors taught us valuable lessons. One house we owned was the first significant renovation we undertook, and we were unaware at the time that the seller had stated, "I built this whole place by hand." That should have raised suspicions, and everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong as we entered it. We sold and left with hardly a dime in our pockets when our expenses rose. It was difficult after all. Additionally, we have lost money on occasion. I simply believe that there are a lot of these minor things. One couple of the homeowners we're working with truly gave it their all. Jonathan. They essentially contributed all of their retirement funds. The 4 children, they have invested all of their college funds in this venture. The house they purchased was to be demolished, rezoned, and converted into an apartment complex. As it turns out, we would have known right away before purchasing the land that it would never be permitted to be used as an apartment complex. However, they tried this for a year and paid more than $150,000, but it didn't work. We will therefore help such individuals get back on track. For some, it's about saving them. For others, it's about locating these amazing assets and acquiring them so that they are truly making that money. Although each narrative is unique, they are all incredibly thrilling. Drew, we've spoken a lot over the years, and that's the one thing that seems odd to me. Would you say, okay, and then do the exact opposite of what we're advising you to do if we were working with you on your own personal investment, and we were providing you with all these resources to help you stretch a budget? You know, designers, contractors, we have materials, everything, and we were giving you advice. Because some of these investors and homeowners are actually acting in that manner. We told them, we've been where you are, but they weren't paying attention. You're going to make the same mistakes we have. They continue to produce them even though we can see it coming.